Welcome to our chapter 3 of our assessor course. Here we are going to look at recognition of prior learning, and we compare it with program-based assessment. Now, recognition of prior learning is, like I said, the assessment of someone like Peter. Remember, we spoke about Peter, the painter. My uncle Peter has a skill, but he does not have a paper to show for it. So the recognition of prior learning is one of the assessments that you will be doing as assessors, to make sure that people that have been previously disadvantaged or they who know already what they want can be assisted. Now, program-based learning is a program where a learner comes into an institution, they register, they sit for the contact classes or online classes, and they go through the whole program. They come without saying that they know something already. So they are prepared to actually go through the whole program. That is program-based assessment. So those are the two that we actually work on as assessors: program-based or recognition of prior learning. Now let's just quickly go through to the different types of assessment that you need to familiarize yourself with. We do have what you call diagnostic assessment. These are assessments that are done at the beginning before even a learner is taken through certain processes, just to gauge how much they know. It's just assist us to be able to put them at the right level or start with the right content or approach, whatever it is. Thereafter, we also have what you call formative assessment. Formative assessments are assessments that are done in class or during contact time when learners are learning, and they actually assist to build to what we call summative assessment. The summative assessment are done at the end of a training or a program to check how much a learner has grasped. So the formative normally build up to contribute to the summative. We also have what you call self-assessment. Say, for instance, Melena, I can actually check through and say, how much of this chapter have I understood? So I can check myself, and then we call it self-assessment. We also have what we call peer assessment, where I can call my peers, my classmates, whoever it is, to actually judge my competence, to say, how have I done it? So they assess, and that is we call peer assessment. Reflexive assessment is what we will assess to check that our learners are able to do things without thinking. If you can think of the reflex system, the reflex when you are able to do something without really thinking. Think of my football player. When a ball comes, he does not have to think whether I should head it or I should kick it. It comes, it's a reflex, it comes automatic because he has actually internalized his skill. He can actually then choose immediately what it is that he needs to do without having to stop, think, header, or must I do a kick? So those are the kind of, that's what you call reflex. When you're able to apply, it's almost automatic. And then we've got what you call integrated assessment. With the integrated assessment, we take a lot of different assessments and then we use them. So we integrate, we borrow from this and that assessment and that, and we put it together for our learner. And the reason being, we want our learners to be exposed to different assessment ways, assessment approaches. It helps because people are different. No two people are the same. Some people would do better in this kind of assessment. So we try to put it to make it different for our learners, to accommodate those differences. And then we also have what you call continuous assessments. We try to make sure that as we in a program, there is periodic assessment. So we check on performance. How are the learners performing? Are they grasping what they need to do? Have they learned this, or what are the shortfalls? What do we do? So that continuous assessment, it gives us that opportunity to be able to look at that. Now, I've been talking about competence and competence. What am I talking about really? Okay. As assessors, I want you to master this. Competence someone can only be said to be competent if they're able to show that they can do a skill. They can perform a skill in 3 different areas. The first one being foundational competence. In foundational competence, we're looking at the basics. Do you understand maybe the assessor course? Did you understand the outcomes based? Do you understand the NQF? Do you understand the principles of assessment? Do you understand the principles of the NQF? Things like that. That is just understanding. It's foundational. And then we come to practical. Can you take the knowledge that you know already about these things and apply it? We want you to show that you can do it, you can apply it. Just like our football player that I spoke about. When a ball comes through, he doesn't really have to think a lot whether to kick or to head the ball. It comes. So he can actually, through practical, be able to get to be more competent in whatever he's doing. So practical, it gives those opportunities to be able to practice what you want to do. Reflexive is when something is now so automatic. You don't really have to think, what is it that I need to do? You apply instantly. Whatever you have learned, you can show, you can apply it in 3 different ways, with obstacles, with different, if you're asked questions differently, you then apply what you know. So that is what we call reflexive. So assessors, we always give competence after the 3 areas have been covered. So remember, foundational, practical, and reflexive. We do not want you to go and assess a learner on 2 areas and say they are not competent. You must make it 3. And all the learning materials in an institute must have the 3 areas that we are talking about, so that someone is said to be indeed competent. And if another assessor comes and they assess them on something similar, they will find them competent, because honestly, how can it be that you can do something 3 and be tested in 3 different areas and still you can't get it? How possible can that be? So that is our competence. So please, let's master competence. Check it in chapter 3. Check it, what it is. Check RPL. Check your programs based assessment. Check what it is. Then we need to then also look at what are the benefits of RPL. There is quite a lot of benefits. If I can take my Uncle Peter, put him in RPL assessment, there are so many benefits for him. Firstly, he cuts on time. He doesn't have to go through a year studying every day for something he knows. So he can show me what he can do, and that's it. Done. So it cuts on time. It also cuts on resources, because we can do this in a shorter time. Yes, definitely there is more resources. A lot of resources are saved, and people are given a chance. Even for organization, they can release their people and make sure that they are then able to then benefit as a company. But there can also be challenges of implementing RPL in South Africa, because the offtake, providers sometimes are not that willing to go that route, or even the people like Peter may not be willing to come through that route. So we do have a lot of challenges of implementing that. Please look at it, look at your learner guide. It has more examples for you, what it is that you can do under RPL, what are everything. Look forward to seeing you in the next chapter.